A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. Dramatised by Dave Sheasby.
That's going to get rare and soaked right down to the skin, sir.
You must excuse me. I'm not sure.
Does I want to borrow me brolly?
No, I
said you could borrow me umbrella. Else come in for a spot of tea.
I can't stop. Sorry, station master. Got to meet the vicar. Appointment, you see. I'll dry out there.
That's all. I'm chapel, me. Still, let me know if you want for out. Just send word, sir.
Oh, I will. Thanks.
I say, I hope it's there.
He seemed to know where I'd come. The lane was where the map had said it ought to be. I turned the corner of the high hedge and was in open pasture, and there was the church. The tower was squat, but it was pleasant enough masonry, fettled up with limestone ashlar. I silently applauded the masons. I inspected the walls, but no telltale green damp. I might as well have turned round there and then if there had been and let myself be washed back to the station. Scaffold and ladder. Just as we arranged, business-like fellow, clearly. Damp hassocks. What else?
Good evening. Mr. Birkin?
7:30 on the dot. Reverend Keach. Evening.
About your living in the bell chamber, in your letter. The idea doesn't appeal to me, I have to say. Surely I made it quite clear in our correspondence that Mossop must ring the bell each Sunday and the rope passes through a hole in the floor. I had hoped you'd find other arrangements, lodgings or a room at the Shepherd's Arms.
Well, funds, you know. Can I use the stove? The rain, well, like today.
We have to think about our expenses too, you know. You said in your first letter here that you'd bring a primus. There, see, halfway down the second page.
Well, I might set something afire.
All right. If you must, I suppose you can use the stove. But you must see the place is left in an acceptable state on Sundays.
Absolutely. Oh, it's a very unusual stove.
It's hopelessly out of date. Useless. I'm having it out by next winter. I need a new one.
No, are you sure? It's a Bankdom Crowther, Walsall, famous name. I saw one of those in a bombed church in Ypres, would you believe? British workmanship for you. The Habsburg of the stove world.
It rumbles. Children find it funny during hymns and prayers. It smokes ashes sometimes. Sometimes showers the congregation. We've had complaints. You won't interfere with it, will you?
You can rely on me.
And now to touch on a delicate topic. Should you, when you feel the call of nature, there's a hut in the north-east corner of the burial yards, quite private. It's behind some bushes. I told Moon he might use it too. What period do you suppose it to be?
The stove, about 1900.
No, the mural, the wall painting.
Well, I'll need time to uncover more of it before I can be sure. The costumes will tell me within 20 or 30 years. Dress fashion, you see. But I'd have a guess now at 14th century. After the Black Death, probably. When people are afraid, they'll spend money on saving their own skins, won't they?
You agreed to 25 guineas, £12 10 shillings to be paid halfway, and £13 15 shillings when finished and approved by the executors. I have your letter.
And why not you too, surely?
Miss Hebron did not say it's an oversight. However, to all intents and purposes, I represent the executors. I shan't mind if you touch it up, so long as it's all appropriate. I'll leave it to you.
Well, of course, it isn't absolutely sure anything's there.
Miss Hebron went up a ladder and scraped a patch until she found something. She was no fool.
Grief. How big a patch?
1 head, I believe, certainly not more than 2. Then she whitewashed it over again.
She whitewashed it over?
You might as well know your employment here has not got my support. Her solicitors forced me to it. Otherwise, they won't pay out a £1,000 bequest to our fabric fund. It'll be in full view of the people.
It?
It will distract from worship.
Well, only for a while. People tire of colour and shapes which stay in the same place.
You think so? Good day, Mr. Birkin.
One belfry, my lodgings. 1 oil lamp. 1 reverend, ice cold. 1 Yorkshire village, perfect. 1 station master, friendly. And 1 whitewashed wall painting, unrevealed. And 1 mossop and 1 moon. Waiting in the wings, whoever they are. Marvellous. Marvellous to think of coming here into this haven of calm water and for a season, not having to worry my head with anything but uncovering the wall painting for them. And afterwards, perhaps, I could make a new start, forget what the war and the rows with Vinny had done to me and begin where I'd left off. I won't be a casualty anymore.
Good morning! Charles Moon. I'm digging next door in the meadow. You may have seen my tent. I meant to let you settle in, but felt I had to come and have a look at you.
Oh, I'll come down.
Actually, my leg gets so stiff in the night, I make a point of coming here to see if young Letitia has managed to climb out in the dark.
Oh, yeah, the monument in the nave. You like her?
I do. Modestly hiding her essential glory by hanging onto that shroud.
She's a Hebron, important name round here.
Don't I know it, old boy?
Are you staying long in the village?
Till the first frost closes me down. My tent's going to be too chilling then. Hoping to save some cash to go digging in the Far East this winter.
Oh, what are you looking for here exactly?
Officially for the grave of Miss Hebron's forebear, one Piers Hebron, 1373. She'd come across a reference to his excommunication and decided he must have been put outside the yard.
Oh.
I'm to find him, or at any rate, look for him.
And do you really expect to find it? Him? He could be anywhere. Didn't families like the Hebrons have the priests in their pockets? Probably buried under the altar.
I tell you what, come over for a brew at my tent.
Oh, I've had breakfast, actually.
Come on. Look, I don't need to be told about that face thing you have there. You didn't get that on the North Eastern Railway.
Is it that bad?
Not at all. We may as well start swapping stories about the same bloody awful place we both know. Come and have a mug. God knows we both must have wondered whether we'd ever drink another.
Quite a pitch. Over a pit, though.
Good insulation. Besides, it's like old times. I developed a great affection for holes. You up your ladder, me down my hole. We're both survivors. I fancy a jar at the Shepherd's Arms. Tonight, meet a few locals.
Well, early days for me, you see.
Never mind. Actually, I should tell you there's something else here. Something much bigger. I had an RFC pal fly me over in his old string bag late one evening.
Really?
A basilica. A chapel. Dates 650 thereabouts. Saxon, I'm sure of it. I ought to tell someone official. And I will, when I've worked it all out. Quite a find.
Well, so you're doing one job and being paid for another?
Steady on, old boy. I've no conscience about it. Anyway, I'll find what the old girl wanted when I've had a good prod around. Sure of it. By the wall over there, there's a mound. Can you see? The wall's been rebuilt.
Why, you sound very sure.
Look, they weren't like us. Their minds worked differently. Religion was magic. If his folks couldn't wangle him into the church, they plant him as near as they could. He'll be there. And he will be in a solid stone coffin. They didn't just wrap him up like a dead cat. Anyway, what about your work?
Well, medieval wall paintings are pretty straightforward. If it's on the big space between the chancel arch and the roof timbers, it always got the big treatment. Most likely a judgment.
Really?
Well, that's what I'm testing. At the apex, I just bet I find the ox-gobby crust.
Sounds quite spectacular.
Yeah, it will be. A nameless painter reaching from the dark and saying, if any part of me survives from time's corruption, let it be this. For this was the sort of man I was. This was a fairly typical opening to most days. A mug of tea in Moon's dugout. How are things going in his hole? How are things up my ladder? He would look speculatively at me sometimes, wondering what befell me over there, and asking, perhaps, if I was here to crawl back into the skin I had before I was pushed through the mincer. I didn't answer him.
Hello there.
Hello?
Can I come up, Mr. Birkin?
How do you know my name?
Everybody does, sir. I saw you get off the train. You spoke to me dad.
Ah, the station master.
Me dad says you're the bloke that's come from down south to do a cleaning job. You look like an artist. That coat.
Oh, don't let the coat fool you. And you can't come up, sorry. It's a firm rule, I'm afraid.
Mr. Moon can't he?
Oh, you know Mr. Moon, then?
Everybody in Oxgodby knows him.
Oh, do they now? Well, he can come up my ladder, and I can go down his hole. And that's it.
I'm Kathy. Me dad said I should come in to see how you were going on. He says you were an opportunity not to be missed.
Well, I'm not an artist, just a labourer come to clean up after an artist.
We've a picture on our chapel wall. 3 big lilies, very beautiful. It says, consider the lilies. It's a transfer, a man from York put it on.
Well, aren't you lot great supporters of Nose to the Grindstone? Yeah, there you are in a public place recommending malingering.
Dad said I could leave his gramophone under his seat, and whenever I called I could play some records. Sacred songs like, and solos.
Well, play something if you wish, Kathy. I need to work. It's very suitable. I'm expecting to come across 2 or 3 angels any day now up here.
I can come any time. I'll bring Edgar, my brother, and Matt will send you some cake and curd tarts if you want. Bet you won't say no to them.
Those hot August days. It must have been 10 of such days before Mrs. Keach visited. I used to lunch outside on some bread and 2 chunks of Wensleydale. I had a bottle of beer on Saturdays. I was asleep, my back against Elijah Fletcher's tombstone in the churchyard, letting summer soak into me.
Sorry.
Have you been here long?
Maybe 10 minutes. I'm not sure.
I nodded off. The heat.
Are you comfortable in the bell loft? Is there anything you need? Are you sleeping well? I could lend you a travelling rug. We don't use it at this time of year. My husband said you walked here.
Walked?
From the railway station, I mean.
Oh.
You can't have been able to carry much. You may have guessed. I'm Mrs. Keach, the vicar's wife. Alice Keach.
Actually, I have a sleeping bag. And I use my top coat if needed. And I have a hassock for a pillow.
I'm afraid you must think us inhospitable. Us in our beds and you up there on the floorboards.
It's what I bargained for, Mrs. Keach. Actually, I'm so tired at the day's end, I don't need a feather bed to send me to sleep.
I'll bring the rug, nevertheless. And when will there be something for us to see?
Well, it will be a bit like a jigsaw. A face, a hand, a shoe. Here a bit, there a bit, and then imperceptibly it will all come together. Well, at least I hope so. I can't believe people haven't had a go before me, and I'll find patches of bare plaster.
Isn't that the exciting part? Not knowing what's around the corner, like opening a parcel at Christmas. You mustn't mind if I haunt you a little. See how the jigsaw's coming together, Mr. Birkin.
You had the lovely Alice to see you then?
Have you been spying on me, Moon?
You seem to have a lot to say to each other. I saw you from the meadow.
Were you waving?
Cramp. Don't you find her a bit of a stunner? Fancy. That gem of purest ray serene, hidden away in Ox Godby's unfathomable caves. Admit it.
Well, she's a beauty, all right, have to agree there. Though maybe she doesn't know it.
Rubbish. Every woman knows it. But that fellow Keach catching her, it's an outrage.
Well, perhaps he's all she wants.
Oh, come on, you've seen him. Worse, you've heard him. Fancy a jar at the Shepherd's tonight. Come on, sink a pint to lost beauty. You can tell me about your progress.
Oh, it's going well. I'm almost sure it was before it was 50 years old. Someone had it hidden under a wash of lime. And why? Some priest didn't like the images. Some local bigwig thought he saw some fancied resemblance. You tell me. And then after that, centuries of candle smoke, paraffin lamps, and then that bloody old Bankdom stove.
Can you get it back to its original?
No, impossible. But I think I can get it so it looks right. It's like opening lots of little windows in a filthy wall.
And it's a judgment picture?
Almost certain. On the top, the judge and bailiff, below the lords and their finery, and then the multitudes trooping smugly to paradise on the right side, or tossed screaming into the fiery pit on the left-hand side. I tell you, Moon, it's so real, so intense. Ox Godby and the world outside is, well...
What?
Like a dream. Inside that church, in front of that reappearing picture, that's what's real. By now, I was down to my last penny, and still Keats showed no sign of forking out the first instalment. It hadn't slipped his mind, because he wasn't that sort of man. He was going to make me ask for it. The vicarage was in a small wood, completely overgrown, and the house and drive blocked by a huge stricken cedar. Mrs. Keach, I was wondering if
You've no idea. This place. Look at the garden, all overgrown. Sometimes I think those trees are actually advancing into the house, dragging up their roots behind them.
I was hoping
and the air in the house. Pressing in. Like it's going to explode, like it's a compression chamber.
I think I understand, Mrs. Keach.
Really?
Well, in the trenches, when a big shell fell, it used to suck the air out, then blow it back in. Stupefying sensation.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
A word with your husband, perhaps?
Oh, yes, of course. You'd better come in. All these rooms. A sprawl of a place. Look. Nothing. Just as it was when we came. Empty. This one? Just the same. Cold. In here, please. Our living room. Now, look at that.
Well, it looks like an altarpiece. A throne of some kind? Is it Baroque?
My husband's father bought it at an auction sale. He thought it would help fill the room. We don't even know what it is. Do we?
Mr. Birkin, good day.
Oh, Reverend, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Look. On the windowsill. My God. Look.
It's a monster of a cat. It's got a thrush. Savage stuff.
Maybe we should show you some more of the place, Mr. Birkin. No stair carpets, I'm afraid. This is the bathroom.
I must say I've never seen a boiler quite that size.
Oh, you won't have a Mossop comes on Monday evenings. He pumps up water from a well at the back of the house. A tankful lasts until Thursday.
If we're very careful.
Above us, attics, and below, a suite of cellars.
See the fig leaves on the panes? Like huge hands.
Alice has her fancies.
Would you like a cup of coffee, Mr. Birkin? Let's go to the kitchen.
Thanks, but I really think I must be on my way.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Such a place you live in, Mrs. Keach. It can't be easy.
We manage.
Oh, it's just come to me.
What's that?
Why I came. Something to ask your husband. It can wait.
This is a delightful rose. Sarah Van Fleet, an old variety. It keeps on blooming right into the autumn. You'll see. Even if you don't visit us again, you'll know. I usually wear one in my hat, in church. Here. Take one. Please. Careful, it has very sharp thorns.
I still have that rose pressed in a book. One day after a sale, some stranger will find it and wonder how it got there. Mossop turned up next day with an envelope with £2 notes and a receipt for me to sign. It was such a marvellous summer, and I had an immense feeling of content. For several minutes I would sit cross-legged in the morning like a Hottentot and think my way through my day. Sometimes I had my interruptions, of course.
Hello up there, Mr. Birkin.
Kathy Ellerbeck, morning.
I haven't come to bother you. I'll just sit here, all right?
People always tell me that, and then they bother me. Why aren't you at school?
We've broken up. A whole month.
Far too long. You can always help your mother, though.
Mum says she doesn't see how you can make a living doing what you're doing.
Really?
She says there can't be many pictures hidden on walls.
Well, I don't.
What?
Make a living.
Why don't you change your job? Stay and live here at Oscobby.
What would I live on? Do you think your dad would find me a job as a porter?
Porters don't need as much education you have.
Well, what then?
You could be a rent collector for council, or a school teacher. You've been to college.
Oh, well, not that kind of college.
Miss Wintersgill said you could be a teacher as long as you don't start thinking you'll ever be headmaster.
You seem keen for me to stay.
Well, Mum and Dad would like you to. And other people. Up in your belfry you've been quite well known.
A teacher, eh? With a cane behind the cupboard. Can you see me at it, Kathy?
Dad said anybody can do anything if he sets his mind to it.
Ah, right then. Well, that's settled. Someday you'll be able to boast it was little me changed his ways. He owes it all to me. But now I must see about earning that balance of my money from Mr. Keach. Off you go.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Birkin.
So she went, but she had put an axe to my self-esteem. Surely our jobs are our private fantasies, our disguises, the cloak we can creep inside to hide. And to be brought to book twice in 1 week is against natural justice, but I was. Like Cathy, Alice Keach usually stayed below, leaving the door ajar and sitting out of sight on a pew. So, with my back to her, we talked casually as we might have talked in a parlour.
How did you come to take up this kind of occupation, Mr. Birkin? I mean, how did you know such a job existed? Was it in the family?
In a way, Mrs. Keach. How clever of you to guess. We were in the cleaning business.
And did you travel around with your father to pick up the finer points?
Oh, no, never. He couldn't bear other people with him when he was travelling. Always came home in a foul temper. Went down the garden. Cutting helped him. Mother used to shudder for her roses. Temperament, all artists have it.
I can't see much from down here. Please, what are you at now?
I'm valeting a gent's overcoat.
Is it very soiled?
Very. And you can't beat tallow candles for laying down nice grease base rather muck to stew in. You modern women don't know you're born.
Mr. Birkin, is it an oil painting or a watercolour or what is it, for goodness sake?
All sorts of things, Mrs. Keach. Blue bliss, verdigris, red ochre. I suppose you could lump it all as tempera. And the wall is cheap, slaked limestone putty.
What's it about exactly?
Heaven and hell. Judgment. Why don't you come and see for yourself? Take care on the ladder.
I don't know quite what... Oh.
I know.
You've done so much.
Slowly, but yes. It's not all that easy finding a way back to the Middle Ages. In this job it helps if you can smell candles guttering in draughts, see their smoke trailing among the images, settling in corbels and bosses, blackening stone too high for the cleaning women to get at. That all sounds a bit airy-fairy, I suppose.
Do you believe in judgment? In hellfire, Mr. Birkin?
Different things to different people, isn't it?
What about on Earth?
I've been there. Mr. Moon will bear me out.
Sorry. Silly question.
My departed colleague's lad, who helped his master paint this coat, would have mixed Cornish malachite on a marble slab for a few pence a week. Now that was hell. He would need a tin bowl to crack his skimpy eggs of his day. I'm told they were no bigger than a wood pigeon's. Naturally, he'd suck the yolk before stirring colour into the white, and my painter would yell down, "Hey, you idle jack, some more green." "Which green?" "The cloak lining green, fathead, and look sharp, we're on piecework."
Poor boy.
Oh, lucky boy. He might have been soaked out on the plough strips, or having his backside whipped at the Abbey school. Anyway, don't feel sorry for him. He used your husband's altar slab to mix his paint on.
How on earth do you know that?
Oh, I found a tinge of red in an undercut of one of the consecration crosses.
I must go.
Oh.
I've left you a few fresh eggs on a pew.
I was going to say, Mrs. Keach. Mrs. Keach. I was going to say my dad sold scented soap door to door. You should have seen him in his office, packing his Gladstone bag.
Now you'll never know. By now the apex of the arch and its left side were uncovered. He'd been staggeringly prodigal with the expensive reds and prohibitive-priced gold leaf at the top, but now in the lower slopes he had thrown in the lot, art and heart. All nothing more than fire fodder, of course, all but one. I could have sworn it was a portrait. A crescent-shaped scar on his brow made it almost certain, a most extraordinary detail of medieval painting I had ever seen. On that memorable day, I knew I had a masterpiece on my hands. That single detail had pushed him an immense stride beyond his time.
It took my breath. It hammered you with its whole before beguiling you with its parts.
My dear fellow, you should have prepared me.
I didn't hear you climb up.
You know this is going to make a stir when the word gets around.
Look at this detail here. 3 wretches going into the fire, but there's this one. A crescent-shaped scar on his brow, and these 2 demons clutching at him. He was covered over years before the rest, for some reason.
I see what you mean. That scar. One could swear he was meant to be identifiable.
My painter would never have dared that.
Too bad. A riddle for you, old boy.
Look, I tell you, Moon, it's the most extraordinary detail I've ever seen. It's 100 years before Bruegel, for heaven's sake.
You could swear they were real people. Those herdsmen with whips. It's like they're dancing. Brings back the whole bloody business in France. Those red evenings when the barrage was starting and we wondered if this was to be the night.
Does it? Not for me. It's just what it is, Moon. A medieval painting. I think it's so different because it was painted by one man, no helpers. I told Alice Keach there had been an apprentice, but I think I was wrong. At Charlegrove there was a master painter, but the colouring had been done by assistants.
I feel terribly smug. Just the 2 of us knowing about it before the Times art critic and the academic parasite sucked the life out of it.
Actually, there's Alice Keach. I think she knows too.
I rather thought there was something coming on between you 2. No? She's wasted on Keach.
I let her come up a week ago. She often comes and sits by the door, showing an intelligent interest.
In this? Or you? Are you married, Birkin?
Well, sort of yes and no. My wife went off, you see, with another chap. She's done that before.
Please, you don't mind me asking. I've never met the right one myself.
Mossop's seen it, of course. Reckons after a couple of months the congregation won't know it's there. And what's more, I'm pretty sure he thinks Keach will have it whitewashed out as soon as I'm on the train. Mossop has a low opinion of his fellow men.
Let's go for a stroll. Superb evening. Better still, a brew at my tent.
Tar.
Pleasure.
You've set me thinking, Moon, about Alice, Keach and myself. I have to admit to some real feelings of being with her. I am finding it pleasantly disturbing to think of wandering off with her to some quiet room, eating supper, taking her hand, kissing her, an upstairs room. Well, dreams, we all have them.
Oh, God. Here he comes. He carries a depressive blight around with him.
Good evening. Just passing. You found anything yet, Moon?
No, Mr. Keach.
Yes, well, I don't suppose for a moment there's anything to find. Poor Miss Hebron was not quite herself towards the end. Was she? Complete and utter waste of money. Disgraceful.
Disgraceful. However does the charming Alice put up with him? Imagine having to eat at least 3 meals a day and have to listen to his bleating, and then share a bed. Oh.
Well, perhaps he's different at home. Anyway, I have to listen to him labouring as I do in his vineyard.
What does he go on about?
The stove, mostly.
You're a queer devil, Birkin. What are you like at home, I wonder? But hasn't he a nerve? Poor Miss Hebron, not herself. I bet there was enough of herself to settle him into his place because he still resents it. Mossop told me she had him weighed up all right. Odd woman. Living in that great house alone, growing old and eccentric. What do you think about growing old, Birkin?
Oh, I can't imagine it happening to me. It's too far away now. You know what it was like out there. There can't have been many of us who thought we'd need to worry about growing old.
Or what comes after that. Who has done well shall go to bliss. Who has done evil to pain, I wis.
Oh, come on, Moon. We went in and we came out. That's good enough for me. We're here on borrowed time. I'll take what's to come as it comes. Day after day, the August weather stayed hot and dry. And now the steady rhythm of work and a living got into me so that I felt I had a place in both present and past, and I was content. Stood up there on that platform before that great work of art, I knew I was conjuring it back from the darkness of 400 years.
You're happy, Mr. Birkin? Not on edge? Is it because the work is going well?
I think it is.
Did you always want to be an artist?
Oh, I never thought about it. I knew what I didn't want to be. An engine driver or policeman. Or anything to do with the sea.
What about the church? You would have made a good clergyman.
Good heavens, no. No, not my style at all.
But you would have listened. You do listen. And you know how to be still. People don't feel they have to say something to you.
I was thinking more and more now about the nameless man who had stood where I stood. Not his technical skills, although he was a good line in hands, but not so good at feet. It was his quirks that puzzled me. And there was the problem of the final falling man. Why had he been painted with such verve? Why had he been blotted out so much earlier than the rest? Was he himself plunging into hell? Had the painter known him? Moon was also interested.
How are you two getting on together? Do you feel him breathing down your neck? Good lad, Birkin. Go on. Tell me about him. Who was he?
These people weren't like us, Moon. This man didn't know fame, didn't even know about those who came before him. They didn't sign work. Why should they? He almost certainly was sure as he painted that his work wouldn't survive 2 generations.
What did he look like then?
Fair-headed.
How do you know that?
Oh, his beard hair and the paint.
Brush hair, surely?
No, it's different. Shorter for a start.
Oh, very impressive. What else?
Right-handed, about your size. Had to use a stool to get to 6 feet. That's it. Except he didn't trust his apprentice. Did it all himself, except this bottom bit, this corner of hell. This figure falling into the pit, the one with the crescent scar. Why did he hand over to his lad when his nose was at the winning post?
More than I can tell about my damned stones.
Moon, do you think about it often?
Often. Particularly at night. Your window's open, you must have heard me. But I tell myself it will be better as time passes. We're in the shadows now, but it will be different. I'm still a bit round the bend. You too. Your face thing, it isn't anything like as bad as when you first came. I reckon Oxgodby's just about ironed you out. I'll leave you to your artist.
Why did you throw in your hand, Master Painter, when you were so near the end?
Perhaps he walked out.
No chance. They'd have hauled him back. He might have died on the job, of course. But his brush strokes look pretty strong to me.
See you later.
My God. I've just got it! Moon! He fell from here! Moon! Moon! This was his last job! He fell!
Best find your own step, old chap, in that case.
I was in calm water now. It really amounted to looking long and doing little. Summertime and in my early 20s and in love. No, better, secretly in love. Alice Keach came each day now, aware that Moon and I would soon be gone, and Oxgodby the emptier.
Worthy, worthy is the Lamb. Worthy, worthy is the Lamb for sinners slain. I'm sorry. I just thought you'd like a song for a change. Distracting you.
I'm just looking at it. You have to keep your eye on a picture, or anything might happen.
Like what?
Oh, it might disappear before your husband feels he's got his money's worth.
Oh, don't, please.
Sorry. Stupid thing to say.
My husband... Arthur... In the village, it's not easy. He's a very sincere man. He thinks we might be better further south. I like the people here, but I'm not sure they care much for us. We don't fit in.
You're wrong there.
Do you think so? Really?
I know a lot of folk who would be sorry if you decided to flit.
Flit?
It's what they call moving house. You've even made a hit with the Wesleyans. Mrs. Ellerbeck says you're very attractive. What about that? From another woman at that, too.
Attractive?
You are. Well, many men would say you were beautiful.
And you?
Me? Well, I'm not an artist, but I got an LCA diploma with a cast-iron guarantee, which is meant to mean I can recognise beauty whenever my eyes fall thereon. So, I must tell you professionally, you're beautiful. Very.
Hey, Mr. Birkin. We've heard you're at Tag End now and are going to be going any day now soon. Are you there?
Would you like me to translate, Mrs. Keach? Mrs. Keach?
Ah, here you are at last.
Mr. Keach?
Mossop tells me the work is done, and I can see from here it is. The executors have authorised me to make the final payment. £13.15 as we agreed. I have it here.
I shall need the scaffolding for a few more days.
But you finished? You've been paid?
You said I was finished, and I didn't ask for the money.
You've taken several holidays, and you've not always been here when I called.
But I'm not paid by the hour. The job's not finished.
I'll have the scaffolding removed.
Then I shall inform the executors you've prevented me from completing my contract, and that will relieve them of forking out the £1,000 Miss Hebron left to the church conditionally.
Very well. I have no wish to quarrel. So if you wish, the scaffolding may remain. Can I ask you to inform me when the contractor may dismantle it?
Of course.
Look, it's not easy. I know how you see me. Moon, too. That's how you want to see me. You've made up your mind. The English are not deeply religious people. They attend here from habit. Their acceptance of the sacrament is perfunctory. I've yet to meet a man whose hair on the nape of his neck rose because he was about to receive the blood of his dying lord. I come in useful for baptisms, weddings, and funerals. Chiefly funerals. They employ me as a funeral contractor to see them safely flitted into their last house. They do not need me further. You too have no need of me either, Mr. Birkin. You've come back from a place where you've seen things beyond belief. Things you cannot talk of, but cannot forget, but things that are at the very heart of religion. Even so, when I've approached you during your stay here, you've agreed it's very pleasant weather, you've nodded your head and said work is progressing well, and you are quite comfortable in your loft, and you've hoped that I shall go away. Your payment.
Christ.
Actually, old boy, I can see his point. You have finished, and now he wants his place back.
I don't need to be told, you know.
Oh, for goodness sake, you cagey devil, I don't mean that. And you know I don't. I mean here. Oxgodby, the marvellous summer. We've dug in pretty deep. Alice Keach. The Ellebecks.
What about you?
Yes, it's time I was off too. Anyway, it'll be autumn tomorrow or the next day. I can smell it in the air. Summer smouldering.
But you've not done what they'll pay you for.
Actually, that's just what I was about to say. It's Piers's turn now, and I really believe dear old Miss H is going to have her money's worth. Tomorrow's the day, my boy, and you have no excuse not to help me. Breakfast as usual, okay? A big one to set us up for the job. Night now.
Just before I bedded down, I looked out of my window. He was right. The first breath of autumn was in the air. A prodigal feeling of wanting, taking and keeping before it's too late.
Ready?
Huh?
See this little job?
Well, it looks very sharp.
It's a Douthwaite divining rod. Most folk were buried in a wool shroud, but my man, I'm sure, would rate a stone box, which is why I've got this and a hammer. It's to take soundings. Your turn first. Here. He's under here. I've measured it.
What, you mean hammer it in?
Exactly. Don't buckle it. I'll take over when I think we're there. When I say stop, I'm going to listen to what the rod's telling me, then we'll move in a few inches and do it again. Shouldn't take long. I have a spade here. I shall now announce with utter assurance that you will find piers as deep as this spade is long.
We'll be here all day.
Doesn't it excite you? Digging where someone dug 500-600 years ago. No? Well, in my simple way, I find it just as enthralling as your undercover job next door. Ah, there we are. What? It's about as near as they could get him to the altar. Let me mark it. It only goes to show how much there is in folk memory. Ask Mossop. Now carry on. We can have lunch soon and a doze in the sun.
It was close on 6 when Moon signalled the final probe and sent up his shoes and socks in a carpenter's bag. Then he began brushing away on the gravestone with rapid strokes. Brushing away so you could say the stone almost swam into sight.
I think there's a name. I tell you what, pass that kettle down, I'll wash it out.
Oh. Well, is it Piers or isn't it?
Nothing. Just Miserimus, I of all men most wretched. They really had it in for him. Why? I'm going to have a peep inside now. Come down. Oh, bring my camera, would you? I'll need photos against the day I tried for a university job. Oh. They like evidence, see? Oh. Okay. Now let's have a peep inside. Might as well. You push. I'll pull.
Right.
You ready? Go. That's it. There we are. You got it? The shroud. So there he is. Excellent condition. Absolutely airtight job. Look at that. Third rib down. There. Huh? It's a piece of metal. Just a minute. I can get it with this pencil. Here we are. Well, well.
Well, what on earth is it?
The crescent. He was a Muslim. That's why they wouldn't let him in the church. Probably caught in some expedition and converted to save his skin. Can you imagine the ructions when he turned up in Oxgoodby? What would the Colonel say?
What are you going to do?
Round up Keach and the Colonel. Show them Exhibit A. Then I'll put this chain back. Leave him with his reputation intact. But first, we climb up your ladder and have a look at his face before it fell off.
What do you mean?
Come on, Birkin. Catch up.
My falling man! Of course! Do you know, it never occurred to me that this bundle of bones was my falling man. Next day was Sunday, and I found out Moon had left on the early train to York, so I decided to bring the job to an end. I took my bread and cheese and sat on Elijah's tomb and fell asleep on the warm stone.
Mr. Birkin?
What? Oh, sorry.
Thought I'd find you here. I've brought you a bag of apples. Ribston pippins. My father was a great apple man. I'm an expert. Apples are the only exam I could ever hope to pass. Dad used to test me on really tricky varieties, like Cosette Wren and Cozeman Reinette.
It's superb.
Well, you should have sniffed it and smelt it first. And closed your eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was wondering if I could see where you've actually been living all this time.
Of course.
So, this is where you spy on us during Sunday service.
Well, I've only ever been able to see your hat. The light straw one.
Oh.
Particularly nice when you stick a rose in the ribbon.
Stick a rose. Really? Sarah Van Fleet isn't any old rose.
Oh.
Bit late to be telling me now. If I'd known, I'd have worn it each Sunday. I don't think Arthur knows what I'm wearing. So, Mr. Moon found it after all. The grave.
Well, you might as well know, I suppose. He's found an Anglo-Saxon chapel as well.
Oh.
A bit more important to him than Miss Hebron's relative. Let me try and show you the shape of it. You can just make out the lines from here, by the church wall. A basilica shape. Probably built in the middle of an earlier cemetery. You see?
Well, thank you for showing me. I shall have to hurry away. Arthur will be wondering what's become of me.
I'll help you down.
Please don't come down.
Mr. Birkin? Mr. Birkin, are you there? Mr. Birkin!
I should have lifted her arm and turned her face and kissed her. It was why she'd come. Then everything would have been different. My life, hers. She'd leaned on me waiting, and I had done nothing, and she said nothing. And since then I sometimes have wondered if it was a dream. Next evening I thought there'd be a second chance for us. Perhaps she's waiting there, as I'm waiting here. What came over me? A madness to rush to the house. How do you tell a house is empty? Oh, this one was. But as I dragged the rope harder and harder, the bell sound came hurrying towards me down the corridors like ripples of our own laughter. It was the worst moment of my life. Next day I packed up my gear and went down and had a last look round the church. The old stove, and then I gazed beyond the scaffolding to the great painting hidden in there. I had lived with a very great artist. My secret share of the long hours I'd laboured in the half-light above the arch. All this happened so long ago, and I never returned, never wrote. We can ask and ask, but we can't have again what once seemed ours forever. That church, a bed on the belfry floor, a remembered voice, the touch of a hand, a loved face. They've gone and you can only wait for the pain to pass. But this was something I knew nothing of as I closed the gate and set off across the meadow.
In A Month in the Country, based on the novel by J.L. Carr and dramatised by Dave Sheasby, Birkin was played by Rupert Evans, Alice by Hattie Morahan, Moon by Blake Ritson, and Reverend Keach by Stephen Critchlow. Cathy was Leah Brotherhead, and the station master was Tony Bell. The director was David Hunter.
The Harpole Report by J.L. Carr, dramatised by Jonathan Smith.
April 15th, 1962. I, Mr. George Harpole, today assumed charge of Tampling St Nicholas Church of England Primary School during the temporary absence of Mr. A.S. Chadband in furtherance of his professional studies. During my first day as acting head, nothing much required my attention, so I spent the morning rearranging the contents of Mr. Chadband's desk, placing the new colour photo of Edith in my stationery drawer so that I shall see her whenever I need notepaper. Mr. Tusker, the Assistant Education Officer, has been very reticent about the supply teacher they have sent us. She is a Cambridge University graduate, which usually foreshadows the collapse of discipline, a Miss Emma Foxborough. I shall find time to keep a fatherly eye on her. The full staff is, then, as follows. Class 4, Miss Emma Foxborough, M.A., Cantab. Class 3, Mrs. Rita Grindle-Jones, Certificated Assistant. Class 2, Mr. James Pintle, Certificated Assistant. Class 1, Mr. Sidney Crozer, Certificated Assistant on Probation. The backward class, Miss Grace Tolmash, Unqualified Assistant. And the caretaker, Mr. Edwin Ezra Thieker. Having long been of the opinion that we English are unduly reticent in love of our country, before the first day of the summer term, I instructed the caretaker to hoist the Union Jack at 8:50 each morning. Not only will this foster patriotism, but, as the flag will be visible from a great distance, it will warn laggards to hasten. Mr. Thieker pretended not to hear when I gave this order, and, When I had repeated it, he said that the flag was wore out and it had gone to the tip. I immediately sent off a requisition to the Education Office at Shire Hall, asking that a new flag be supplied.
Tusker to Harpole. My clerk informs me that a national flag was supplied to Templin St Nicholas Church of England Primary School only 7 years ago. With normal usage and care, this item of equipment should still be in serviceable condition, and I should be grateful if you will kindly inform me of the circumstances attendant on your need for a second flag.
Thika to Harpole, left on desk. Being caretaker, I have brought up with the union what you said about it being my job to put up the flag each and every morning, and the caretaking union is taking it up with the education, so as we know what our job is and what our job isn't.
Tusker to Harpole. I was called upon today by the Industrial Disputes Officer of the Transport and General Workers Union, complaining that you had instructed your caretaker, Mr. E. Thika, to hoist a flag each morning. I would point out that the principal duties of the caretakers are to maintain A. heat, B. cleanliness, C. security, and that other duties should be undertaken only when and if time permits. In view of this, no doubt you would like to reconsider the ill-advised position you have adopted. I shall expect to hear what course of action in this vexatious matter you propose to take.
Journal. Have lost face in my fight for the flag and feel dispirited. Wrote to the Education Office saying that the original Union Jack has now been found in excellent condition and that I have cancelled the request made to Thika. There will be no hoisting of the flag. Took my first morning assembly and was concerned to note that our new member of staff, Miss Emma Foxborough, did not join in the singing, which I found very disappointing. Back in my office, I replaced Mr. Chadban's certificate of the Institute of Hygiene with my framed manuscript copy, on vellum, of Sir Henry Newbolt's great poem, which I did for art at college. The lines I always find particularly inspiring are: "The sand of the desert is sodden red, the Gatling's jammed and the colonel dead. The river of death has brimmed his banks, but the voice of a schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up, and play the game." Encouraged by these words on my wall, and a glimpse of Edith in my desk drawer, I circulated a note to all teaching staff. I feel confident of your support for the 2 trifling procedural deviations in routine that I propose making. 1. All male staff should cease insistence on being addressed as Sir. This archaic title inhibits easy relationship between ourselves and the children. Similarly, female staff should discourage children from addressing them as Miss, Teacher, or Ma'am. 2. After reading an instructive article in this week's edition of The Teacher, I propose to dispense with the cane, and I expect colleagues to follow suit. I cannot imagine anything more likely to permanently damage our teacher-child-parent relationship.
Mr. Pintle to Mr. Harpole. Trifling procedural deviations is a truly awesome understatement. My class and all children with whom I come into contact will continue to address me as Sir. All strikes, demonstrations, civil disturbances, pornographic theatrical performances, and bedding without wedding are due to such erosion of the social order. I am one of the old school, and I refuse to bow before the rising tide of national decay. I shall disregard your circular, and shall bring this matter to the notice of my employers, requesting them to furnish me with a ruling on your action.
Hurried round to Pintle's room, and assured him my circular was meant only as a suggestion, and if he felt so strongly about this trifling change, he should disregard it. I further hoped to mollify him by assurances that I respected a man who spoke his mind, and suggested we forget the matter. I told him, however, that for my part I was finished with the cane, and this I should tell the children at assembly. While cycling to my first net of the season, I passed our new member of staff, Miss Emma Foxborough. She appeared to be wearing a voluminous red cloak, but as I suddenly turned my head to look at her, further examination was prevented by my cricket bag being caught in the handlebars, causing me to fall off. Postponed my first innings at the nets until next week.
Dear Mr. Herpole, my daughter Martha informs me that you do not possess a cane. No cane. Living as I do on the Mutler Council estate, I continually am apprised of multiplying acts of the utmost depravity, resultant from the permissive society fostered by the so-called government of this country. I can declare with the utmost conviction as a Scot that it was the whippings with the tawse that I received at school and from a God-fearing father at home that saved me from the deterioration into animality which sullies adolescence in the male sex. It is regrettable enough that severe birchings of adults are no longer administered, but it is going too far to remove the fear of chastisement from our children. I trust you will reconsider your decision. Yours I, Alexander Festing.
As I passed Mr. Pintle's room, I heard a familiar refrain.
If I say it is wrong, it is wrong. I'll have no more of your confounded impertinence. Another word from you and back into the corridor you go. Not one word, I said. If I say it is wrong, it is wrong.
My dear Edith, in my digs today there was a great commotion. It was Mrs. Teal screaming that the gas hot water geyser would not stop. I did not consider this serious, as it works on small coins, so would eventually stop for lack of them. However, when she began to call me by name, I ran down and tore open the bathroom door, whereupon Mrs. Teal appeared in a cloud of steam, which was just as well. "Stop it, Mr. Harpole," she kept screaming. "Stop it before it blows my house up." I rushed upstairs and obtained my movable spanner, a very expensive one Dad gave me last Christmas, and shielding myself from a jet of steam, I climbed on top of the bath, with one foot on each side. But before I had time to twist anything, the geyser made a whining gasp and stopped. I shouted to Mrs. Teal to call in the plumber, and she screamed back that she would, and that it was all right to come out as she was now respectable again.
Thika to Harpole, left on desk. That Miss Foxborough in Class 4 is messing up the furniture in her room. That Miss Foxborough in Class 4 is using the doorposts for pulling out pen nibs.
Visited Miss Foxborough's classroom. There were loud noises emanating, and I found numerous children creeping around on the floor between the desks, making mooing sounds. I bent over one of them, a child with hair all over her face as if it were a forest animal peering from the undergrowth, and asked,
"And what are you doing, my dear?"
I'm demonstrating a cow grazing in its pasture.
Oh, Miss Foxborough, is that you down there?
We are making a picture of our friend the cow.
Is that what it is?
It is well known in progressive educational circles that, in art, a teacher must establish rapport between herself, her subject and her pupils, or their pictures will be stale.
Well, if that is so, why is Titus Fawcett painting his cow bright vermilion red?
Oh, well, if you're going to make a grand palaver of it, I'll get up.
Miss Foxborough, I am not making a grand
Children, please. Children! Thank you. It seems Mr. Harpole does not like our exciting pictures.
I did not say I did not
so
like your...
perhaps he will tell us why, as we are all here to pick up any crumbs of learning that may drop around.
Miss Foxborough, please come with me into the corridor, and perhaps you could bring that piece of art with you.
I hope you're not going to do anything ungentlemanly, Mr. Harpole.
If you want to know, it is not the colour of the cow I object to, but them.
What?
The udders. Some of these drawings are frankly indecent.
Indecent?
They are practically scraping the ground.
Oh, if that's all that's bothering you, I'll get Titus to paint on a skirt. When we did Our Mother and Our Father, Titus did his without a stitch on either. Next time, I shall instruct him to paint Our Mother and Father with their clothes on.
This permissiveness of yours will give girls like Henrietta Billet ideas.
Rubbish. Living as she does in a rural slum.
Tampling St. Nicholas, a rural slum?
With 8 of them in 2 bedrooms and a privy down the garden, Henrietta Billet knows more about anatomy than the 2 of us put together.
Yes, well, if I may, I will leave the anatomy to you.
You may.
Meanwhile, I would ask you to choose more conventional subjects, such as elves or space rockets. That is all.
Are you all right, Mr. Harpole?
All right, how do you mean?
Are you quite fit again? Remember, you fell off your bike? With your suitcase?
That was my cricket bag.
Oh, you played cricket, do you?
For a young and inexperienced teacher, Miss Foxborough does not suffer from a deficiency of self-confidence. She is a disturbing influence in our school. The 11+ results arrived this morning at Tampling St. Nicholas. I decided not to announce them at assembly. Instead, I hurriedly duplicated a letter to all parents, informing them that the Education Committee had decided which was the most suitable school for their child. Melchester Grammar, Melchester High, or Melchester Secondary Modern. However, most of the children secretly slit their envelopes open, and, as I was passing the cloakrooms, I saw that Daphne Ellis was unnaturally pale. Any supporter of segregation at 11, whose heart has not wizened to a walnut, needs to see that unnaturally pale girl only once to shatter his defence of the 11+. In the staff room, where I noticed Miss Foxborough was engrossed in writing a personal letter, I also encountered Mrs. Grindle-Jones. Mr. Grindle-Jones teaches at Mount Pleasant Prep School, and she could not resist her annual crow.
Mount Pleasant Prep had another good year, I see.
Oh, have they?
5 into the grammar.
Is that so?
And 6 more called for borderline interviews.
And not one of ours.
Not one? Oh, really?
Not one. Can that be right?
Not for us to reason why, Mr. Harpole.
Or every reason for us to ask the reason why.
Yes, Miss Foxborough, I agree. Harpole to the Director of Education. Would it be possible for you to inform me of the criteria or marking system used in the borderline interviews, please? I am asking this because I notice a curious discrepancy.
Tusker to Harpole. I understand that you have written to the Director of Education demanding confidential information. All letters from schools must initially be addressed to my office, and the decision whether or not to direct them elsewhere will be taken at my discretion. I consider your action a flagrant disregard of my authority. Must it be necessary to tell you yet again, Mr. Harpole, that there are lines of communication laid down, and these must be strictly adhered to and in no circumstances deviated from? Furthermore, I have never heard any complaints from anybody before on this issue. Are you insinuating unfairness in the borderline interview procedure?
Whilst checking the staff's weekly forecast of lessons, I noticed that Miss Foxborough plans to give Class 4 a painting lesson on Our Friend the Bull, more child masterpieces. This is so childishly meant for my provocation that I shall ignore it. Counsellor Mrs. Blossom, whom I am unable to ignore, visited the school and expressed a desire to see each class. When we came out of Mrs. Grindle-Jones's room, Mrs. Blossom took me to one side.
It would be very nice, Mr. Harpole, if the children stood up when I entered the room and called out, "Good afternoon, Counsellor Blossom."
I preceded her into Miss Foxborough's room and carried out Mrs. Blossom's wishes. but Miss Foxborough looked at me as if I was a half-wit. Mrs. Blossom clearly suspected this, and far from mollified by the ragged, ill-timed cries of welcome, insisted on checking the register. Most unfortunately, she found that 45 children were recorded by Miss Foxborough as present, when, on account of heads, only 44 were in attendance. Mrs. Blossom then crossed out the number 45 in red ink and inserted 44, initialed this, and asked me to note it in the logbook. When we reached the backward class, Miss Tallmash greeted Mrs. Blossom with, "Oh, hello, Annie," and insisted on telling me that she and Mrs. Blossom had been in the same class at school, and that their birthdays were within 1 week of each other. This put Councillor Mrs. Blossom in a huff, as I found out back in the corridor.
She may have attended the same school, but I cannot remember her. She must have left at least 15 years before I arrived. Perhaps it was my mother she was thinking about.
My dear Edith, I know it has been too long since I wrote, but the weeks fly, and what a day it has been. My chain came off twice on my way back to my digs, and I decided to adjust the back wheel of my bike. When I couldn't find my movable spanner in the place where I usually keep it, I worked out that I left it on top of Mrs. Teal's water geyser the day it wouldn't stop. I decided the plumber who mended the geyser must have put it with his tools by mistake. When I telephoned him, he said that there had definitely been no spanner on top of the geyser, and what was I hinting at? I knew very well where I had left it. The dates I suggest are as... No sooner had I started this note than Councillor Mrs. Blossom knocked on my door. I was surprised to see her so soon again at school, and even more surprised by the direction of her conversation.
I do hope, Mr. Harpole, that Mr. Chadband retires and does not return, and then we can all benefit from your young blood. It is no secret that I feel strongly on this.
Do you, Councillor Blossom?
I do. Old men are nothing but a hindrance. It's us young ones we want, don't you agree?
Yes, I suppose I do.
And don't you also agree that free meals and family allowance should be stopped? Britain is now a land of layabouts. If I had my way, I should have some of them doctored like tomcats, living as they do like lords on national assistance. But I am sure you share my views.
I did not, and felt uneasy that I had not firmly said so, and might have done had not Mrs. Grindle-Jones come in complaining about her heavy, freestanding blackboard, saying that she could not be expected to erect it, as her doctor had told her there were a lot of slip discs about at this time of year. I excused myself to Mrs. Blossom and went to Mrs. Grindle-Jones's classroom and tested it. It is indeed of extreme weight, but I asked her to soldier on for 18 months when I felt confident that a new rollerboard would be the reward for her patience and understanding. She did not respond favourably.
Tusker to Harpole. I was astonished to receive your request for a new blackboard. A. The last date for requisition of permanent equipment was February the 28th last. B. I note that you state the equipment as heavy, not as unserviceable. It is not the county's policy to replace equipment which is still serviceable.
Harpole to Tusker. As I understand it, there are, however, a number of unwanted blackboards in an outhouse behind your office, and I wonder if I might be allowed to exchange Mrs. Grindle-Jones's overweight board. If you would permit this, I will arrange for Mr. Thieker, our caretaker, to collect it.
Thieker to Harpole, left on desk. About that fetching and carrying, the union says to inform you it is not my job and to go only under protest, and for you to sign a paper promising compensation for any accident to my person contracted on the journey to and fro fetching and carrying.
Tusker to Harpole. My clerk informs me that you've demanded access to his equipment store, which he rightly refused. Please notice that I do not tolerate interference with my administrative staff by head teachers. Or acting head teachers.
Harpole to Tusker. I wish to report an accident. Whilst erecting an unusually heavy blackboard yesterday, I twisted my back. I am advised by my union solicitor that such injuries occasionally result in partial or permanent disability, and that I should request that the circumstances leading up to the accident should be recorded officially by my employers on the appropriate Ministry of Insurance form, should it become necessary to claim compensation at some future date. I have made a dated entry in the official school log. Tusker arrived the very first thing next morning. He hurried hotfoot to Mrs. Grindle-Jones's room and, visibly straining, slowly lifted the ironclad blackboard, struggling to speak as he did so.
I cannot understand what all this to-do is all about. It seems no more than normal weight to me. Why is it necessary to make a fuss about so trivial a matter? The title, Post of Responsibility these days, seems to have no meaning except as entitlement to extra unearned salary.
He then leant the blackboard against the easel, which immediately snapped and collapsed, bringing down a vase of sweet williams and scattering a box of chalk pieces far and wide across the classroom floor. My dear Edith, I am glad you are interested in my movable spanner and keep asking about it because, as it happens, dearest, I was thinking about it and you only 2 nights ago when I could not sleep. At school, some things have been disappointing. After winning the Battle of the Blackboard, I wanted to tell the staff about our great sporting victory over Goodge Road Primary. Goodge Road Primary not only have twice our number of pupils to pick from, but also have the Problem Rehabilitation Centre in their catchment area, which gives them a reservoir of players of unexampled ferocity. But the staff were lolling in their easy chairs, or laughing or smoking, or, in Miss Foxborough's case, still in a world of her own writing a letter. It was, I suspect from the preoccupied smile on her face, a letter to a male friend.
Dearest sister, no, Felicity, life is not passing you by. First, pass your A-levels, and all things will be added unto you. Secondly, you seem unnaturally interested in our Mr. Harpole. Now, for goodness sake, get it into your silly head that if I mention him in our correspondence at all, it is merely because I am thrown into his company between 9 and 4 each and every day. If there is anything unusual about Mr. Harpole, it is his usualness. The zenith of his hopes is a semi with the mortgage paid off and an adoring little wife. Rumour has it that he is engaged to someone somewhere. So, an adoring little wife, and enough pension at the end of it all to preserve life and a threadbare respectability. And to achieve this, he is prepared to put up with any indignity his superiors offload on him. I grudgingly admit him a sort of integrity, and if one should have the misfortune to find oneself where the sands of the desert are running red, and the Gatlings jammed and the Colonel dead, there might conceivably be worse backs to be back to back with than Corporal Harpole's back. Oh, yes, the other evening, while walking along the banks of the River Elver, I found myself passing Tamplin Cricket Ground, and who should I spy at the wicket? Fully armed and accoutred, looking larger than in life, with the light of battle glittering in his eye, and his bat rocketing the balls time and time again into the chestnut trees. Yes, Mr. Harpole.